looks like we didn't screw that one up. So that's good news. So 6 is still ongoing, and we can't have office hours. At least Jeff and I can't have office hours this weekend. Matt might be able to, but we can at least be answering Piazza questions for you. So we'll be around to help you out as you work on that.
Are you guys going home for the holidays?
We are going to all of the family places.
Oh.
So, yeah. We're doing the full family tour. So we're going to his parents' house, but not my parents' house. So until then, we're giving you a 3-week break. We're coming back in January. We will post on Piazza to make sure you don't miss the first class back in January. So don't worry about that, but it's gonna be 3 weeks off, and then we come back the second week of January. Before then, we're not assigning any new work over the break because this is your break, but a lot of you are behind and need to catch up. And I will just put it this way, that labs 1 through 4 are a hard prerequisite for next semester. Like if you have not at least attempted them, you shouldn't even bother with next semester. Like you have to catch up on those because otherwise you're just going to be completely lost. Like there's going to be—
Come on, guys. I know you have it in you. Those of you that have not done 1 through 4 yet, and I know who you are. We talked about it last week. You guys keep coming, so you have to know that you have it in you. You guys have 3 weeks, and they're willing to give you peer-to-peer tutors.
Yes.
Right?
So that is my exact segue into this. So if you haven't successfully gotten it through lab 1 through 4, and also when I say get through it, just to be clear, I think those of you who are doing really well are actually all really underconfident about it. If you have done the work, like everyone who has actually completed work, forget like how good it is, it was good. Okay, so like if you went through the assignment and you feel like you struggled a lot through it, you're actually like everyone who went through the whole assignments and went through the whole labs, you're doing well. I don't think there's anyone who like actually worked through the entire thing and is still in like a terrible state. So you all who are doing the work should like feel really good about it. And if you haven't done the work, meaning maybe you like sat and tried to do the work, but you didn't actually get anything written down. If you're in that category, you have to catch up or else next semester is not going to be successful. So we're offering you tutoring. Reach out to me. Some of you already have, and we will make it happen. I also might be reaching out to some of you about becoming a tutor. So you'll hear from me if that's the case. Or if you want to volunteer to be a tutor, please, by all means, step up. And we can also like help out ourselves or recruit in TAs, or we'll do what it takes. Like if you ask for a tutor, we'll find you a tutor, no matter what it takes to make that happen. Is there anything other? Jeff, did I forget anything regarding logistics? Oh, the other thing is we're gonna mix things up next semester a little bit as to how we run the class. So I said at the beginning that it's gonna be a little more project-based. So we're gonna do that. But the other thing is I think that online office hours don't really seem to be working. Like not a lot of people come to them. And I think the people who do come to them are asking questions on Piazza as well and doing other things anyway. So we're gonna try and do more face-to-face time stuff. So I'm putting together like another survey about what times you guys might be available for those things, because online office hours is different from like in person. We're also gonna try and get a little more one-on-one time with you guys. Not a lot, like we're not gonna be able to meet with everyone one-on-one all the time, but at least like once every few weeks so that we're actually like talking to you about your progress and making sure that your concerns are addressed and stuff like that. So if you have any other ideas, like the main ideas are I want our office hours or whatever it may be to be in person so that we're like in the room together and having more like just general time in the room together and also more one-on-one time. But if you have any other ideas other than those things that you'd like to see happen next semester, I'm totally open to those. Okay, that's as serious as I'm gonna get in this class. Let's do this. today's lecture is ways to learn more CS. So this class, first of all, so far you guys have already learned intro level CS in Java, meaning if you have successfully done labs 1 through 6 and you're feeling at least moderately good about that, you have basically taken a year's worth of computer science in school. So you guys should applaud yourselves for that, actually.
I'll applaud you. Woo!
Like that's really awesome. And you all signed up for a very intensive class because you're learning 2 years worth of school in 1 year, only in the evenings. So that's a lot. So that's great. And it also means that just with what you have right now, you can say, I've taken introductory computer science, right? And if you wanted to go study something else that has intro programming as a prerequisite, you can do that now. You're at that point. So that's really cool. Coming up, we're going to do all the AP stuff, prep you for the AP test, and that's going to be like your second year of school. And throughout all of these slides, I've ranked everything I'm going to talk about on a scale of difficulty, seriousness, and relevance, so that you can kind of gauge whatever is most right for you. And actually, I'll get back to that. So this class is about other ways outside of AP Computer Science to learn CS. There are lots of reasons that you might want to take advantage of the things in these slides, whether it is that this class is too fast-paced and you want a slower-paced way to learn computer science, whether you are too busy and you want a less time commitment way to learn computer science, whether you are not busy enough and you want to learn more computer science on top of this, whether you just want some fun things to do on the side so that you're not always like serious class style CS, but that you're doing more like engaging fun style CS. This class has the whole range from easy to hard and relevant to just fun stuff. So AP Computer Science is hard, it's serious, and it's super relevant. Like, it is real world skills. I told you this at the beginning. And so this is kind of in contrast to some of the stuff that we might learn today. So I'm gonna have that scale on every slide. So I'm gonna start with some of the more serious stuff, and I promise this lecture is gonna devolve into insanity, so don't worry. What's that? Oh yeah, turtles. So we've probably said to you guys a million times, Python is so much easier than Java, and we wish the AP tests weren't in Java so we could teach you Python. So if you're just like, Java is terrible, I'm having a terrible time, we highly recommend that you try Python. It is just as relevant. Like, Ryan, who works at YouTube, talked about how he writes in Python. Like, it's a major programming language that actually gets used. A lot of college classes are taught in Python. So it's super, super relevant, but it's seriously easier. Like, I'm not gonna call it easy, but it's like medium difficulty, right? As opposed to hard. Actually, and to prove this, Jeff did this. So this is like the Cloud9 of Python, right? Where he wrote this code. It's called Code Stolter. And he wrote some of the Lab 4 problems in Python. So digit sum was the last problem on Lab 4. And if you guys did it, it was super hard. And it is 5 lines in Python, and it actually could be less if you wanted it to be. Similarly, parse input, which I know many of you guys worked on, 4 lines in Python. And they're super easy to read, right? You're like, oh, numbers has nothing. For each of my args, add it to numbers, append it to numbers is what it says, right? So it's like the same logic, but it's just super straightforward. Multiplication table, whoa, it's like 8 lines. So Python is like beautiful and simplifies everything. That's really my whole point of this. And this second link right here. So I'm going to share these with you, and the whole objective is to have you follow the links to whatever you're interested in. This is a free course on Coursera. Are you guys familiar with Coursera? So it's free online courses of anything you want. Like you can search the catalog, whatever you want to learn about, there's classes about it, and it's free. You could like go to college for free on Coursera. That's actually their objective, is to like college is so expensive these days, and they're trying to make the point of like, college does not need to be this expensive. We're just going to make material available online. So this class is taught by our college professors. Jeff and I learned from these professors, and they're amazing. So basically, you are getting our Rice education for free online. And it's only medium difficulty. Like it's not super terrible or anything. They make it really accessible, but it's really like, it's real computer science. It runs from January 9th to February 20th next. They do like sessions, so that you take it with like a whole bunch of other students online, and then you can like post on the forums and ask questions and learn from the other students. So if you actually are serious and like just want to learn Python, I highly recommend it. There's also the turtle tutorial. So Python has like a built-in turtles library, and you can make turtles do stuff. So this link just leads to, it's like this nice full-page tutorial that walks you through how to do things with turtles, starting with hello turtles, all the way down to like turtle insanity. So if you want to take turtle tutorials, there you go. The other easier programming language to learn is JavaScript. I will say that we don't like JavaScript as much as Python. It's a little weird in some places, but it is super useful for web development if you want to like build websites or web pages and stuff. So if that's kind of the route you want to go down on, JavaScript is a really good starting language. And there's this super cute tutorial that turns learning JavaScript into like taking a road trip. So you like get to, I don't know, go through these like challenges and play things in order to learn JavaScript. And you're like learning real programming, they just made it cute. Okay, is this useful so far? Like, are these things kind of interesting? Okay.
You guys use Java here at Google?
So Jeff and I both use Java, but Ryan uses Python. There's actually a lot of JavaScript at Google. Jeff and I both try to avoid it. To be clear, our dislike of JavaScript is a super personal preference. Like lots of people at Google write in JavaScript, we just don't like it as much. It's like, it's really your own preference. You know you're like a real computer nerd when you have opinions about like which programming languages are good or bad. And Python as well, although Python is really good for writing small things, but it's not as good for writing big things. Like you notice that all of those things were like very few lines of code, and that makes it really good for learning stuff, but it makes it not as good for like writing massive scale things like Google or Facebook or like enormous stuff. So I think it's much better as like a learning tool or like writing simple things. Did that answer your question? Okay. Cool. Then there are the easiest fundamentals. So this is still learning real code, but this is like easier turned into games, and these are hour of codes. How many of you guys have done an hour of code before? Most of you. Okay, so all of the hour of codes are up on their hour of code website. So you can just do more of them on your own. Like you don't have to stop at one. So which one did you guys do when you did it? Is it? You've done the Star Wars one? Okay. So I played Code Combat, and it was pretty fun. It's exactly what you already experienced. And these are teaching you real code, but they're like turned into these simple little games. So I wrote that it's very useful rather than most useful, just because these all have a limit. Like they'll teach you the basics, but then they don't really keep going. So it's really good for like getting started, like if you feel like you're just tripping over the basic stuff, and they make it a game. Also, there's an hour of code called Bear Quest, which got me really excited. But I have some bad news. The website for it is super junky. Like, it just does not work well. So while BearQuest was a really cool idea, I sadly don't actually recommend it because their website does not work.
Even like it's like sketch or you just
It's like weird looking. I'll show you. Like, I couldn't figure out how to do anything with it. It's like got all this stuff going on. It's like always showing these pop-ups and then like, oh, okay, of course. And when you like try and drag stuff, it doesn't work very well. Like maybe you guys are better at this than me, but I didn't know what to do with this. Like, oh, it made some bears. So maybe I'm just stupid.
Oh yeah, Julie, that's what
Yeah.
it is. You're just stupid.
I'm just stupid. Apparently BearQuest is super cool and I had no idea. See, like, why does the plus sign come up like over top of other things? Am I the only one who's just completely confused by this?
I'm confused. Aren't you?
Like, I would have no idea what I was doing if I weren't just clicking wherever the blue box goes. Oh, it's supposed to, oh. See, I know how to code and I don't know. If you guys like BearQuest or can figure out how to play it, power to you because it's a cool concept. I mean, if I were a bear, I would want to eat some fish too. Okay. Web development. Slightly more serious than the last one. Web development is really cool because you can like build your own websites and other things on the web, like applications and stuff. And I did some web development with some of you guys already. So I think web development is a really cool way to code because you can actually see the results of what you're doing immediately. So unlike in this class where we're writing these dummy programs that don't really do anything, but they're helping you learn for now, and then eventually you'll be able to write like useful stuff. Web development, from day one, you're building a web page, right? So from the very beginning, no matter how basic it is, you get to see the product of your work and you're creating something really cool. And I think that's cool. There's a bunch of online tutorials and they're all really, really good. Like the web development people just know how to write tutorials. So really, you can click any of these. Although the last one I think you might have to pay for. I haven't figured that out yet. So maybe one of the top three.
And honestly, the web development people are building tutorials in a website. So their
Yeah.
tutorials are definitely going to be everything else.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They're like the best at teaching stuff. And web development starts with HTML and CSS, and that's what most of these ones will link you to, and then it moves on to JavaScript. So if you wanted to learn web development, you probably want to do your fundamentals in JavaScript. Mobile development. So Android development is super cool, and you can do really cool things. I'm going to warn you, it's hard. Like, Android development is in Java, and it is like, I actually have not done Android development myself. And that doesn't mean that I couldn't, right? But I haven't done it because it actually like takes time to figure out what you're doing. The plus of this actually is that I found this thing in Team Treehouse, and they have these mini courses that'll teach you how to do a very specific thing over like 2 to 3 hours. So even though Android is like same level of difficulty as the class we're doing right now and is complex stuff, there are these mini tutorials where you can sit for like 3 hours and build an interactive story app, which is a really cool concept that someone can sit you down and teach you how to build an app in 3 hours, right? Like 3 hours is not immediate, but I think that's cool. So these mini tutorials do seem like a good idea. Like if you're serious about mobile development and like want to build apps, this is a pretty good way to get started. There's also full courses that I've linked to from here if you like want to just take a full-blown course on Android development. And they're all really good, but they're going to take some commitment. Like you have to really want to learn it. iPhone development was super hard to find classes on. Like it's just harder to find sources. Apparently the iPhone people aren't as good at teaching as the web development people. So the only thing I found was this make school thing. Notice I said this is medium difficulty, and the reason for that is that I couldn't find any, like, real iPhone development similarly is very hard, but I couldn't find any real iPhone development sources. Make school does like a kind of simplified version of iPhone development that like makes it fun and easy for you to learn. So it's got like this little tutorial thing, and you gotta code them all. You like go through its little activities and stuff, and you end up building like a game for an iPhone app. So it's actually pretty fun, and it's simplified, right? It's not as hard as it would be. The downside is from here, you don't really have, I don't have a good suggestion for how to transition to the real thing. And that's why I'm kind of meh about it, because I don't like the idea of saying like, oh, hey, get started. But then if you want to keep doing it, I don't know where to send you. That's not to say that that option isn't out there. Code art. Did you guys know you can make art with code? Yeah. Check this out. This is sweet. Like, oh, it's starting at the very beginning. How do I skip ahead? We'll just do this. This is your fast forward version of all the things you can make with code. I swear it gets really interesting at the end, but apparently I'm gonna have to click through a lot of stuff. So it like teaches you step by step to create these like geometry art things.
What language is this?
I
JavaScript.
was gonna say it looks like JavaScript to me. You can do stars. So this is actually teaching you to make art with JavaScript. There we go. Now it's getting beautiful. And then it goes back to the basics. But each of these are like teaching you different concepts in JavaScript, so you can learn real JavaScript via art. That tree, yeah. So different trees. So yeah, there's all these different, and CodeMaven isn't the only one that does that. So there's an hour of code art one, and that one is a lot easier, but you don't get to do as complex stuff. There's Code World. There's processing, which I think you might actually have to download. So if you're on a Chromebook, I'm not sure it'll work. So there's lots of ways to actually learn code by making art. Math puzzles. So math is super essential to computer science. And if you're learning math, you're basically learning computer science. So here are some suggestions that actually really range in difficulty. But they're all pretty fun and they're really relevant. So Project Euler has all these like math challenges. This is pretty nerdy, but but they're really cool. Like finding the even Fibonacci numbers. Do you guys know what the Fibonacci numbers are? Yeah. And so they're all problems that you can do by hand. Like you could just get out like pencil and paper and calculate it, but they're also problems that you can write computer programs to solve. And some of them will take you a really long time to do by hand, but you can make a computer solve them really fast. So it's like one of those cool things that kind of bridges math and computer science. So it's a fun way to like challenge yourself to write programs. And there's Euclid's constructions, which these are all challenges that you can do with a compass and a straight edge. Did you do these in school at all? Like where you like bisect an angle or make a perpendicular line through another line? No, these aren't familiar.
You went to a much cooler school.
Yeah, I did these in middle school actually. So what's a like fun looking challenge? Where's the one with the circle? Where's the circle one? Centroid of a triangle, circumcenter of a triangle. So, or like, yeah. So a circumcircle, is that the one on the outside or the inside? On the outside. So like using just a protractor and or not a protractor, a compass and a straight edge. Do you guys use compasses in school? Yes and no. It's the thing that it's just got like 2 points that go a certain distance apart and you draw circles with it. So using just a compass and a straight edge, figure out how to draw the circle that hits the 3 points of this triangle. So these are just like math challenges. I can spoil this one for you if you guys are curious.
It shows you the definition of that link there. Of what a circle is.
Oh, well, that's the answer. So that's the answer of how you would do it. I can show you the video. So there's your compass. Yeah, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to see the, sorry, if you don't want to see the answer, don't look. Ooh. Yeah, so these are like geometry puzzles if you're into this. And they're like hands-on, like if you're a tactile person, these are more fun than like, I don't know, sitting and typing away. Oh, okay, so there's a whole bunch of those on that website. You can go through lots of challenges. Okay, this is my favorite slide of the whole thing. I love logic games. Logic games are so good for computer science. Like, so these are just games, but I actually marked it as very useful because logic games actually train your brain to think like a computer scientist, and it really does pay off when you're doing computer science. Lightbot is my new favorite game. I discovered it last weekend, and it's fabulous. It's adorable. Have you played this? I think it was an hour of code or something, but I'm gonna turn down its music. Though.
Why do I feel like you
So
spent
you're
all
like-
day playing this?
I beat the game in like 2 hours. It didn't take that long. So it's actually, oh, I have to go back. So you're like this little bot.
I played it for 2 hours straight.
No, I don't doubt that in the least bit.
And you have to like program your little bot to like go through the steps. Like you go forward and then go forward, and you have to make it light up on the blue boxes. And I swear it's super fun. And it makes this little boopity boop noise as you do it. You gotta listen to it.
We did this for coding in class.
Oh, you guys did this?
Yeah, last one.
Already? Spoilers. Okay, well, if you already played it, you don't have to play that one. We've got more. So there's logic games online. These are fabulous. They're like Sudoku style games, but you don't have to do the Sudoku one. Lights Out is super hard. I tried playing it, and it's really hard, which in my opinion makes it awesome. NetWalk was super fun as well. So I highly recommend these ones. And then Jahuma's Logic Box is actually our favorite game ever. Like, I love Jahuma's Logic Box. This is like real computer science. It gets really hard. Like it starts really easy and then it gets really hard. And if you can beat all of Jahuma's Logic Box, then Google should hire you. Like, I'm serious. But it's got all these like cute symbols. And
So can you just put on your
like,
resume, I beat this game, you must hire me. And that's it.
Have you guys heard of the game Zumbinis? So, okay, well, it's also a logic game, but it costs money, so I didn't put it in here because I didn't want to put in anything that you have to pay for. But I love Zumbinis. It's like one of my favorite games ever. And it's a bunch of logic puzzles where you have these like little, I think they're blue. They're like little blue dudes. And they're like, and you have to like send them on a journey to Zumbiniville by putting them through logic challenges. Look it up, I swear, it's the best game ever. I was writing a reference for someone for Google, and I included in there, I was like, by the way, he's really good at Zumbinis.
I mean, they do give these strange tests and stuff when they're
The
interviewing.
thing is, like, if you're good at logic, it really, really does help with computer science.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. So, like, if you're good at things like Jahuma's Logic Box, it actually goes a long way. Obviously, you have to be able to code on top of that. Like, you can't just be good at logic. But it does make you a better coder, usually. So Jahuma's Logic Box is awesome, and I really recommend it. And if you try it out and don't get it, I will happily help you because I will preach this game. Okay, but of course, you guys like your phones. We all know this. So I also found similar logic apps for your phones. Logic Pick is
Oh, you're so smart.
logic puzzles that like ultimately draw a picture at the end. So like you follow the logic game and then it draws a cool little picture of like a turtle or something. I just finished the turtle one, that's why I thought of it. Logic puzzles. Has anybody played logic puzzles that look like this, that have a grid like this? Okay, so what's that?
They flow.
Oh yeah, Flow is a good one. Flow is a good logic game. So logic puzzles actually come in all different forms, and there's no particular app. Like you can just search for them, and as long as it's got this like 6-box grid, it's the right thing. And I used to play these like when I was a kid, and they're really good. So I showed a particular one. These are just photos. And then the top right one has a ton of really, really good logic games in it, but it's iPhone only. So if you have an Android phone, you can't do it. But I tried it out and I really like that one as well. So all of these are ranked as like easy and they're just games. And most of these ones actually aren't as good. Like I would argue that Lightbot and Jehuma's Logic Box are a lot more relevant to computer science than like Logic Games Online or any of these ones are, but these are still good. Like they're not bad. And then the last thing, of course, is YouTube. There's lots of really good educational YouTube videos out there. Are you guys familiar with any of these? So, Minute Physics. Yeah, Minute Physics is really cool. I just discovered them kind of recently. And they had some really good, like, mini physics tutorials. Like, their most recent one is why is the solar system flat? And it's super interesting. You guys seen these? And there's like a bunch of them. Like they're super, and they've got cute little drawings and stuff. And these are totally educational. And physics is good for computer science too. Computer File is actually pretty technical. Like they like teach legit things about computer science. It's not just like, I don't know, oversimplified tutorials. Like and sometimes they say it in these like monotone voices that are pretty boring, but they're still pretty cool. Do you guys know Bitcoin? Are you familiar with Bitcoin? Yeah, so they've got this like, I watched this the other day, like how Bitcoin works. This is an ad. But if you're curious about how Bitcoin works, this guy, who is not super charismatic, will tell you all about it. And it's actually pretty informative, and it only is 7 minutes. So it's not like it's taking a huge amount of your time to learn how Bitcoin works. Numberphile is one of my favorites. They do like math puzzles and stuff. And
Has anyone heard of Bitcoins before?
some of them said yeah.
Okay.
You can go watch the Bitcoin one later if you're interested.
It's basically like money, but it just exists in the cloud, right?
Yeah, it's online money.
Yeah, it's online money.
It's like a new currency that someone.
And it's
some
like
anonymous
legit. You
person
can pay. You can pay for it.
Yeah, you can really pay with Bitcoin. And you can generate Bitcoins by having your computer run these particular programs. So you can run your computer and generate money. It's a it's a cool idea. Numberphile is really cool. Like this video about how the Enigma machine works. If you're like browsing through these, just like watch them later and see if you find them interesting. The Enigma machine was a cryptography machine back during World War II.
What's that movie?
The Alan Turing movie.
What's the movie called? No. Everyone needs to, over Christmas break, you all need to see this.
The
Imitation Game. Put that on your queue. I don't know if Netflix has it, but find a way. Download it online. You guys do all
The
kinds of
Imitation
stuff.
Game is an
Watch
awesome
the Imitation
movie. You
Game.
should watch it. You
And if
should
anyone
watch
has
it.
a thumb drive, I'll give it to you. I think I have it on my
This is
computer.
all the math behind that movie.
So yeah, so
I actually want to learn that.
that whole movie is about Alan Turing, who is one of the pioneers of computer science, and how he broke the code during World War II that the Germans were using to encrypt their stuff. And this was like, this is life or death matters, right? Like, by breaking this
Oh, he saved
code in
millions
their
of
machine,
lives.
he saved tons of people's lives because it ended World War II much more quickly than it would have, if it would have ended.
What's her name? That
So-
pretty actress that everybody likes is in it.
Is it on Netflix?
I'm not sure, but just what's that
Yeah,
actress?
I-
Keira Knightley. Thank you. She's in it. No, it's legit. Like it's like when I went to Ghana, the guy who runs that program made all the girls watch it. Everybody loved it. It was awesome.
It's really, really good.
It's only on DVD for now. So it's okay. There are websites.
There are
There are
websites.
websites.
See, you guys, there's always a way. There's always a way.
So this video actually, like, really simply in 10 minutes teaches you the math.
I would have
behind
watched that because
the
I'm
Enigma
always
machine.
curious.
Yeah, so follow this later and find out because it's super accessible. Like, it won't be over your heads. Like, you can totally understand this. And it's like how this like code cracking in World War II happened, which is super cool. And then there's Vihart, who is my favorite ever. And I'm going to show you this video because you just have to watch it. This is not
by
optional.
far the best channel.
So Vihart, like, just start watching all of her YouTube videos, like, right now. You just have to. Oh, I have Jahuma's logic box open somewhere. I know that sound. Oh, Lightbot also makes. All right, closing out all these things. I opened so many things. Okay. Here we go.
You're not gonna get very good video over PC.
Oh, well, yeah. Can I hook up to
What type of
what?
what ports do you have on your?
Oh, should I? I have HDMI only.
I think we may have that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hook this up better so that we can get real Vihart. I should have brought my hexaflexicon. Is it demo?
Distance. Better than origami.
Yeah, this is better than origami, although it's related.
This is the last slide, right? And the hangout.
This is the last slide.
Bye bye, Hangout. You have all the resources you need to become an awesome computer programmer on your own.
Just like a full video of me saying, by the way, this thing is super awesome. Oh, this thing is super awesome too.
No, it's all the resources that you could want, vetted by you guys.
That's what I was. All right, you guys ready for this? We'll start from the beginning. All right, you guys. This is the most important thing you'll learn in this class. Oh, audio's not working. I'm gonna turn off closed captioning.